everyone. You're watching All About the W, your weekly deep dive into the WSL, stats, stories, and standout performances. Let's break it all down. I'm Kai, and as always, I'm joined by Ash. In this episode, we're going to take a quick look at the WSL team's performance in the Champions League, and then we will look at the draw and make some predictions. All right, Ash, let's get started. What I thought we'd do is we'll just look at the three WSL teams and maybe broadly give a review of the performances that they've had in the Champions League in the league stage, right? So let's maybe start with let's go alphabetically. Let's start with Arsenal.
So obviously, Arsenal will be disappointed by the fact that they are 1 point off of the top four. They have a better goal difference than Bayern. So ideally, if they could have reached 13 points, that would have been better for them. Uh, like we'll speak about the draw later, but arguably this route might be actually easier for Arsenal than the Bayern route. But that's putting that aside. I think they uh, I think the game that really uh messed them up is obviously the Bayern game. Like I think uh it is deserved that Bayern are in the top four and not Arsenal because Bayern beat Arsenal. So it's a very direct competition between the two of them. Apart from that, Arsenal have won all their games. They won against Benfica, they won against Real Madrid, which was a difficult game for them. They won against FC 20, which FC 20 has been known, as Kai would know, to mess teams up.
Hmm.
And of course, they won against Lua, who they play again. So I do think that Arsenal couldn't have actually done a lot better than this. It's just that they lost to their direct competitors, who are
Yeah,
Bayern,
yeah,
and I think that's just with the way the cookie crumbles. They still have a. I don't think that they've played badly in any of their CL games, particularly. Yes, they have just about crossed gone over the line both with Real Madrid and with FC 20. But I don't think that there's been any cause for concern. In the CL, at least, Russo has been in form, not as much in the league. I think what was troubling them was their midfield, but Kim Little is back. So I really think that Arsenal have just as good as a chance as anyone to get further in this competition, and I
yeah.
don't think that they had a particularly bad group stage. Losing to Bayern is not something to be ashamed of.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I think even Renee Schlegers talked about it. She said the Lyon game, of course, it's the first game, and it's Lyon, so they have like crazy Champions League caliber. But the loss that really stings is the one against Bayern.
I feel like Arsenal have, yeah, obviously, the Lyon game. I think I expected them to lose, so I was just like, whatever. It's not much you can do about it. But like enough about Arsenal. I think let's move on to Chelsea. Chelsea also have had a mixed bag in the CL. Obviously, they dropped points where they did not expect to drop points, and it cost them a little bit. But they made it to the top four. Kai, you gotta be happy with that.
Yeah, I think the funny thing is, I feel like Chelsea dropped points where they expected to not drop points, but they did gain that 1 point against Barcelona, which I mean, in some way, was a free hit. It's a group stage match, so it's like it doesn't matter if you lose, but that 1 point has come in pretty handy, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Chelsea like started the Champions League poorly, and then they've kind of found form at the right time. Two big wins against Roma and St. Polton, who have generally been pretty poor. Uh,
Yeah, honestly,
in
even the Paris 4-0
Oh
is
yeah,
a pretty high score. Like if you think about it, Chelsea have been phenomenal in the Champions League. Like they've been winning 1-0 at home in the league, but like in the Champions League they've just been killing it. Like 4-0 and 6-0 and you
six
know
nil.
yeah, 6-0 two times.
Yeah,
To be fair, they also played Wolfsburg and it was a closer game. But
yeah,
like they've really they haven't lost a single game in the Champions League. They're unbeaten.
yeah.
And they drew against Barcelona, which is a big feat. So Champions League form has actually been phenomenal.
Yeah, the Champions League run has been pretty good. I think there was obviously a lot of anxiety when we did draw to FC 20. And to be fair, I feel like we kind of sneaked that draw in some ways as well. We had to get a penalty to eventually manage to score a goal. But yeah, I think even the thing that's been positive with the Champions League run so far has been the quality of the performances as well, because
Yeah,
that's really dropped in the league.
yeah,
And in the Champions League, we have seen really good performances, even against Barcelona. I thought Chelsea were phenomenal. Uh, should have won that game, honestly, given the chances we created. Um, Even against Wolfsburg, coming back from a goal down, I thought it was an impressive performance for most part of that game. Like, from about 40 minutes to 80 minutes, I thought Chelsea were completely controlling that game. So I think, yeah, the Champions League performances have been really, really impressive from Chelsea. And obviously, we'll talk about the draw a little bit later, finishing third in the table. Okay, let's talk about the other seeded team, Ash, Manchester United. What have you made of their run?
I mean, looking at their run, you would think, oh, it's not that impressive or whatever. But if you think about the teams that have qualified below them, think about Real Madrid, think about Wolfsburg, think about Juventus. Like most of these teams, even Paris, most of these teams have more experience in the Champions League than United do.
Yep.
And United have managed to qualify above them at sixth on the table. Yes, they lost to Lyon, and yes, they lost to Wolfsburg. But you always expect to lose to Lyon, and Wolfsburg away is always a difficult game to play. But they managed to get points earlier on in their easier fixtures, and I think that has held them in good stead. And they've been very pragmatic about it. They've like rotated. They've been a little bit, almost ruthless in the team selection. Um, but it has worked for them, and it what the one thing I worry about is it's been very close victories, like 1-0 against Atletico Madrid, 2-1 against PSG, who haven't been in the best of form, 1-0 against Juventus. So they haven't like blown their competition away in any of their games, even including the easier ones. But to be fair, they didn't have the easiest run up either.
Yeah.
So qualifying for sixth is absolutely amazing for them.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think uh, sometimes we genuinely forget that this is United's first time in like Champions League proper. So it's been a good run. I feel like strategically they managed. That's something you need to do, right? Like, of course, they lost to Wolfsburg as well as Lyon, but both of those are pot one teams, right?
Yeah.
What they needed to do was to get those wins. Like, obviously, like look at Arsenal, not Arsenal. Look at Chelsea, for example. They had a slip up against FC 20. Uh, Even Manchester United could have potentially had that against, say, a Valerenga or
Yeah.
an Atletico Madrid, but they did not. They managed to like find that win, and that's what's put them in that good position. And listen, if they manage to sign some good players, add to their squad depth, I know it can't happen over a single window, because I
Mhm.
don't know how they bring depth in, say, a position that Zigiotti plays, who just has
Yeah.
looked exhausted. So
Yeah.
I don't know if they can manage to do that, but even a little bit of depth in a few positions, like again, like Jade Riviere looks absolutely gassed at this point. She's been putting in massive shifts across like the Champions League games as well as the league game. So maybe it won't happen in this window, but I feel like they're moving in the right direction. And
Yeah.
credit to Skinner for approaching it pragmatically, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, Ash, let's have a quick look at the draw and make some predictions. So, as far as the draw is concerned, what we basically have are which teams are going to play against each other in the playoffs, and after that round of playoffs, what the quarterfinal fixtures could potentially look like. All right, so let's look at the draw. Start at the top. Atletico Madrid playing. Wait, this is wrong. Arsenal are
United.
playing OS Leuven, no? Shit, I have the
What do you,
wrong.
you sent it to me on WhatsApp. That's the right
Acha,
one.
yeah, yeah, one sec. I'll pull that up because this is the wrong one. Fucking hell.
You might have the men's one.
No, no, no. I have the women's one, but it's before the draw wala picture.
Oh, acha, acha, acha.
Yeah. Okay, so let's have a look at the draw. Let's start at the top. We have Atletico Madrid playing Manchester United in the playoffs. Ash, what do you think the outcome of that is going to look like?
You know what? I think United can beat Atleti. I truly believe that. I'm going to
Hmm.
go United.
Okay, that's fair. I think even I'll go United. I feel like we haven't seen Atletico Madrid as at their best. They started really strong and then it kind of fizzled out. And I feel like a big blow for them is obviously Gio's injured. She got injured in that game against Manchester United, but also Luani picked up a red in the last game, and that was for hair pulling. So I feel like it might be more than like a one match ban and suspension, whatever. But also, I feel like um, a lot of Atletico Madrid's attack goes through Luani, so I'm a little concerned for them. So I'm gonna have to go with United. All right. The other side we have OH Leuven versus Arsenal. Your
Mm,
prediction, Ash?
I mean, for me, it's Arsenal. Like over, like oh, if it had been I have been a big fan of OH Luma in this tournament, and I think that they've put up a really amazing fight to get as far as they have. I just think that over two legs, like if it had been a single game, one goal, and then defend like your life depends on it. I could see OH Luma pulling something off, but over two legs, home and away. I just cannot see OS Luma beating Arsenal,
Yeah.
especially at home. Like I just don't see it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Arsenal, I feel like Arsenal are really good at playing over two legs. I feel like last season's Champions League exemplified that a little bit. So many games in which they went behind and then managed to go and get a win in the second leg. So it's definitely going to be a tough one for OHLU. And all right, Paris FC versus Real Madrid.
Yeah, this is. I've been slightly disappointed with Paris FC in the games that I've watched. To be fair, I watched them play Chelsea, so that's never going to be an easy outing. But I'm going to go Real Madrid on this one. I mean, I know they've also had one or two injuries here and there, but like I feel like Real Madrid because I also want to see Real Madrid play Barcelona.
Yeah, I yeah, I feel like Real Madrid have given like a good account of themselves in the Champions League. I just, obviously they don't manage to finish in that top four, but I feel like just in terms of quality as well, Real Madrid probably edge it for me over Paris FC because not just the Chelsea game. I did catch the highlights of them against Barcelona, Paris FC against OH Leuven as well. I think which OH Leuven managed to get a draw out of that game. So it's been a disappointing campaign for Paris FC for sure. So I have to go with Real Madrid on this one.
Yeah, to be
Oh,
fair, Paris FC did draw with Real Madrid in the group stage, so
correct.
it is potentially possible that they managed to pip them.
Yeah.
But I just think over two legs, Real Madrid have the advantage.
Agreed. Okay, the last one is Wolfsburg versus Juventus. Probably the feistiest of the
Oh
fixtures for
yeah,
me.
yeah. I think it all depends on how each both teams play their home games.
Hmm.
Um, I'm gonna go Wolfsburg, but very marginally. I think Juve had just as good a chance as Wolfsburg.
Yeah, I think I'll go with Juventus on this one. I feel like they both teams. I think wo- what has characterized their campaign a little bit has been the inconsistency. Like they've managed to get some good results, but at the same time, yeah, I mean, some other results haven't gone their way. So for me, and the other thing about Juventus and Wolfsburg, I feel like they play pretty well at home. Like Wolfsburg is not an easy place to go to, and neither is Juventus. So I feel like, yeah, I'm gonna go with Juventus on this one. Although Wolfsburg obviously have like crazy Europe caliber. Um, but yeah, all right. So with that in mind, as a potential quarterfinal between Manchester United and Bayern Munich,
Bayern, come on. Like, as much as I think United will strengthen and do all of that, and sure, they'll be like good for in one leg. But I just cannot see two legs United beating Bayern. I can't see it.
yeah, I think it's going to be interesting because obviously United are going to get Leah Schuller, and I think Bayern Munich are trying to go in for Selina Churchy in this January window. But yeah, I think the quarterfinals are also going to happen around the time, like right after the Asia Cup. So we won't see a lot of the players from the Asia Cup. So obviously Bayern won't have Tanikawa, United probably won't have Miyazawa, so a few players who are not going to be there. But yeah, I think I have to agree with you. Bayern Munich probably edge it there in the quarterfinals for sure. Uh, Arsenal versus Chelsea potentially.
Ooh, fun. You know what? I'm going to go Arsenal. I don't know
Hmm.
why. I have a feeling like there's just a little inkling of a feeling. It's just Chelsea's, like Champions League juju. I just feel like there's something there about quarterfinals, semifinals, and Chelsea.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think Arsenal versus Chelsea. I can see it happening.
Yeah, just the thought of this is making me sweat. Like I was so hoping that we would get drawn on the Manchester United side of the draw, but
Yeah,
yeah, listen, Arsenal in like a tournament is just like a different beast.
yeah.
They just have something about themselves. But I mean, I have to back Chelsea. The pressure is definitely on Chelsea. Like I know the pressure is on Arsenal from the perspective that like they are the defending champions, so they have to like give a good account of themselves in this tournament. But at the same time, I feel like there is a big picture pressure on Chelsea because the chance of Chelsea winning the league this season very less for me. So that leaves us with probably the Champions League and the fact that we've not won it against the only other English side that has won it. Massive pressure on Chelsea. So yeah, I think I'll back Chelsea in this one. But yeah, it's going to be definitely going to be an interesting fixture. All
Yeah.
right, so Real Madrid versus Barcelona, Clasico.
Oh God, I think all like collectively. You mentioned earlier to me that Yash was having a meltdown, so I went and checked it out on Twitter, and I realized that all the Real Madrid fans are having a collective meltdown.
Yeah,
Um, but Barcelona, I feel like no matter, like I feel like by then everyone will be like some of their injured players will be back,
yeah,
and they'll just be. I mean, Atana won't be back, but Patrick could be, and so I feel like I just don't see Real Madrid. I know they've had one, like they have had one odd games here and there where they beat Barcelona,
yeah.
but over two legs, I just don't see it happening. It has to be Barcelona, I think, for me.
Yeah, yeah, I have to agree with that. I think, I mean, having experience, having played Barcelona a lot of times, it's the Barcelona with two legs is it's just something else. It's crazy. I feel like the thing is when you're winning a game against Barcelona, you need a lot of luck to go your way.
Yeah, flood the
Uh,
field
yeah,
so they
and
can't pass.
to flood the field exactly. Maybe they can do some dark arts like that behind the scenes. But yeah, I think over two legs, there's just not enough luck in the world. I think, and to be fair, I feel like the other issue is also that Real Madrid probably don't have the squad to
Yeah.
match Barcelona. So yeah, definitely going with Barcelona on that one. And finally, you have Wolfsburg versus Lyon.
Fuck. This, like, I feel so bad for this entire trajectory For like Wolfsburg, Juve, Lyon, because I'm just like it just gets harder and harder.
Yeah,
Anyway, I'm gonna go Lyon. I feel like Wolfsburg, obviously, they have been rebuilding. They're in a rebuild sort of stage,
yeah,
even though they've been storied and historically like a really big Champions League team. They're in that rebuild stage, and I feel like Lyon just a juggernaut. So it has to be Lyon for me.
yeah. I yeah, same here with Juventus and Lyon. Like some absolute miracle needs to happen for Lyon to not win against either Juventus or Wolfsburg. So have to go with Lyon. Okay, semi-finals then. Bayern Munich versus Barcelona.
This is a fun semi-final. I gotta admit. I'm I'm
Especially
gonna go.
since Bayern lost like 7-1 to Barcelona
Yeah,
in the first match.
yeah. Like I feel like they'd just be raring to go, but I just think that Barcelona. It just when you lose, the opposite could also happen. You could have PTSD from losing like by so much to
Oh,
another
you're
team.
telling me.
So, but I'm gonna go Barcelona on this one.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think I also have to go with Barcelona, but I feel like it's going to be really tight.
Yeah, to be fair, Barcelona have no money, and Bayern will strengthen.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like Bayern Munich, they have so much quality across the pitch.
Yeah,
Like for example, if they can somehow manage to keep Vanilla Harder fit till like
yeah,
April, which will be in itself a miracle.
yeah,
I think I still feel like there's a lot of quality, and I already saw a couple of players who are injured for Barcelona. Listen, I think a lot of this is going to come down to who is available for both teams, because I
yeah,
do think like with Barcelona, like yes, they are exceptional, but at the
yeah,
same time, it's they are like, listen, I understand that they have a really good academy and players can just slot into the way they play, etc., etc. But at the same time, this is a high pressure situation. You need experience. So, yeah, if Barcelona can bring back some of those uh, injured players by around March, April, I think Barcelona will probably win this.
yeah. Absolutely, 100% agree.
Yeah, Arsenal versus Lyon for you.
Oh, well, this is the rerun of last year.
Hmm.
Um, I'm gonna go Lyon. I feel like
Yeah.
this year Arsenal have not impressed me as much, so I'm just gonna go Lyon.
Yeah, I think if Arsenal beat Chelsea and go through, I think Leon is. I feel like Leon this year just look really different. They obviously have Geraldez as their manager, and the depth there is just insane. It's just
Yeah.
insane depth. So yeah, but for me, obviously, it's Chelsea versus Leon, and I'm gonna go Chelsea because I'm a delusional human being.
I mean,
Leon's depth
especially
doesn't matter.
considering the fact that Lyon is so strong on the counter, like that is literally how Chelsea have conceded most of their goals.
But that's the thing, right? Like we won't have the ball. No, we are good at playing without the ball. Unlike
Yeah.
other teams, like unlike say somebody like an Arsenal, I feel like
Yeah.
we are really good at just like sitting in a mid block and we like play through us, and then
Yeah.
we'll hit you on the counter with our pacey wingers.
Pacey
It
winger singular Thompson.
and JRK. Don't forget JRK.
J- JRK is not starting. I will
That's true. I
bet
hope
you
she
that.
doesn't start.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that would be hilarious. Okay, so that leaves us with for you a Barcelona versus Lyon final.
This is what I predicted last year also, although it did not happen. I'm gonna go Leo. I just have a feeling.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting. Like even like say for example, Chelsea beat Arsenal and play a semi-final against Lyon. We have the former Lyon manager uh, at Chelsea, so there's a lot of this
The
side quest.
merry-go-round.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. A lot of stuff happening. But yeah, again, like you said, Barcelona versus Lyon. Um, again, Jonathan Geraldez, who was the former Barcelona boss. So a lot of stuff. So you're gonna go with Lyon, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
for me, it's Chelsea versus Barcelona. Of course, we'll beat Barcelona. in the finals, and we'll win the
Of course,
Champions League.
like there's no question about it. Yeah,
It's just gonna happen. This is
it's
this is
gonna
our
happen.
year.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, you're
Uh,
like, oh, we're getting knocked out of the top three, so you might as well win the Champions League.
yeah. We will finish fourth in the WSL, and then come May
Yeah.
25th or
To
whenever
be
it
fair,
is,
I did. I think at the start of the season, I said the only way Chelsea win the Champions League is if they purposely lose the league.
purposely lose the league. I mean, it's very generous of you to say that we are purposely losing the league because we just be shit. That is the
Yeah.
reality. Um, All right, I think that brings us to the end of this episode. Before we wrap up, just a reminder to all of you out there to subscribe to our channel. And if you're already subscribed, just like the video, leave us your thoughts and comments on how the Champions League is going to play out. We will be back with you in the next one, where we'll be talking about what will we be talking about? Oh, yeah, our WSL team of the season.
Yes.
Uh, so watch out for that one. Bye bye.
Yes.